I started to cut turf here in Capanagh about 1975, give or take a year. For 1 year we cut on over towards Knowe Hill. I found it difficult to get a good new plot. I asked some of the neighbours around this area and they eventually put me in touch with the Department of Agriculture. I think it's about March, somebody used to come out from the department, park a van, and all the folk who cut turf came up to pay for their plot for the year. So that's how we got our first plot, and we've held it since then. Because we had a lot of clearance to do, start off just with a bare bit of bog, and they let us have it for £1. Years ago, when I first came here, there may have been up to 100 people had banks. Those banks are still there, but nobody works them now. Whenever I come up here, but maybe March, early April, it can be still very cold. There's still frost on the ground, and you really need to have a coat and gloves, maybe a drip on the end of your nose. It can be bleak enough. But in summer, on a summer's day, there's no nicer place. Wildlife is more plentiful here than you would imagine. Some days now I remember here and see one bird of interest, but in other days you see lots of things. For example, you might see a fox. Plenty of food up in the forest for them. They're a bit scavengers really, and they always get some food from dead sheep and so on. Bird life hen harriers and merlins. Some years the merlin would fly around here and you could hear it screech. This year, no, I didn't see either. Small birds too. Turf is more about tradition. In my family, we have cut turf for generations. My uncle was the last one to cut in Co.Fermanagh. That's my mother's home place. Before that, my grandfather, great-grandfather and great-great-grandfather all had turf banks. So it's maybe in the blood. You can't help it. I like to come up here to get peace, quietness, and you can shut out the rest of the world, and that's the sort of time you see wildlife, maybe a newt, a lizard, some of the birds. It's hard to beat up here. Most of the time when I come to the bog, I'm alone. My family can easily burn up all the turf far faster than I can cut it. Capanagh has some superb views of the Antrim hills. From where we are at Capanagh, you can see the hills above Cairn Castle. If you look north, Glenarm, and in the distance we can see the Scottish coast. Some days it's covered in mist. You don't see very much, but on a clear day we can see for miles. The winter colours here are often brown, changed to green in the summer, and it's most spectacular. And the trees are in leaf, the stone walls and the fields can be seen. There's no nicer place. The changes are not sort of in the cycle. It's just maybe you get a good year, a wet year, a dry year, a cold year. This year, 2018, is probably the best year I've had in terms of weather. Over the years, the grouse population has declined. It used to be I could have seen maybe 7, 8, 10 grouse any day up here, and you could always hear some. They had almost disappeared until maybe 10 years ago. A new keeper arrived and the numbers picked up. He is gone. And so is the grouse. This year, one grouse was all I heard. The curlew has declined a lot in its population. You now would hear an odd curlew. Used to be, it was regular and you could see them fly about. The cuckoo usually comes here in summer, sometimes 2 and 3 of them. And they patrol this part of the forest and the bog. I would hope when I get past this work, I have a couple of prospects to work at in the future. I have 2 nephews and a grandson, and I'm fairly confident that they may carry on the work. Since this bog now, we have only, I think, probably 2 people who still work the banks. The tradition will disappear.